Well, guys, I did it again. Let's talk about it. All right, guys, here we are. Another truck walk around video. This is Joe with Odyssey Off-Road, and I know if you guys have been following the channel, regular subscribers, and you're not just clicking on it just for this video, you're probably thinking, man, this guy is about as bad as Untamed Motors, but not quite as bad. I think he's got me beat a little bit, but with the rate I get rid of my trucks and swap things out. So I promise you, this is something that's not looking to get rid of. And I know I've said that before, and if you guys doubt me, I really don't blame you. I guess the proof will be in the time that passes that I have the truck. So this is a 2023 Jeep Gladiator Mojave. So I will not get into too crazy of details as to why I got rid of the Tundra and we are back into a Jeep Gladiator Mojave. I say back into because I've had one of these before. I had a 2022 Jeep Gladiator Mojave. Very similar options as this as well. And that was in Sting Gray. This one here is in white, which I really am liking the white with the orange and stuff. And we'll do a walk around. You'll see how nice it is, in my opinion anyway. Obviously, colors are subjective. I think the white looks really good on this truck with the black accents. But bottom line was, the Tundra was awesome. I've had zero complaints with the truck. I realized if you guys know the backstory on the Tundra, I had a 23 Tundra when it first came out. I bought one. And the truck got totaled in about 6 to 7 weeks after I owned it. It was totaled in a bad wreck. And then, without even thinking, instantly, I just put a deposit on a replacement Tundra. And then throughout that, while I was waiting for that replacement to come in, I had debated on, well, do I really need a full-size truck? I can tow my quads with a mid-size truck, like a Gladiator or something like that. Tows very well. It's got a good transmission and foundation for towing, and had no problems, and be much cheaper. And I was like, well, maybe one day we'll get a bigger camper or something like that, and or a camper in general, and then need to tow it, and I'll just have the full-size truck ready. But honestly, I just decided before I get deep down the rabbit hole with it, I don't need it, and it was just too much money spent on a truck that wasn't necessary. So I just downsized, saved a boatload of money. I mean, a boatload of money. I won't get into specifics, but a lot of money. So justified the purchase. And some of you may say a downgrade. Some of you may say it's an upgrade. But in my opinion, I'm in what I need and what fits my lifestyle and the channel. I can use this for more than just towing my stuff and hauling my stuff. It's a great daily driver. It gets 20 miles to the gallon. And I had one before, so I already know. If you guys can look back into my channel, I did a 2,000-mile road trip for my last one, and I averaged 20 miles per gallon on that road trip, and that included off-roading in Moab. So that's another thing too I can do with the truck, off-roading, stuff like that. So it's just really going to be fun to own again. If you're not familiar with the Mojave models, basically this is kind of on the same level as the Rubicon in terms of top dog trim, but built for different things. So the Mojave has a 1-inch lift in the front over the Rubicon, and it has Fox piggyback shocks and hydraulic jounce bumpers in the front. It's more meant for higher speed off-roading, deserts, dunes, just a higher speed off-roading, not slow rock rolling. You can still do it with this, with some slight modifications like front sway bar disconnects, which it doesn't have like the Rubicon has. And it doesn't have a front locker like the Rubicon has, but it has the better suspension setup in terms of shocks, 1-inch lift in the front, and it's got a wider track than the Rubicon by 1 inch. The wheel, I think that comes from the wheel offset. It's got the same axles. They're 410 gear ratio, Dana 44s, front and rear. The transfer case is a 2.7 to 1 rather than a 4 to 1 transfer case like the Rubicon. So you can go up to 50 miles per hour in low gear in this truck. And I've had it before. I did slow, crawling with it and technical trails, and it does absolutely fine. It's about the same ratio as low gear ratio as a Toyota Tacoma. I'm pretty sure. And so, it fits the bill for pretty much all around off-roading. What you would need to do is, if you really want to get the full articulation in the front, like a Rubicon can, is just the sway bar disconnects. Apex Designs makes a set of sway bar disconnects. You can get those. They just have a little knob on top, and it unlocks them, and then you'll have fully disconnected sway bars. You don't got to pull them off, tie them up. You just pretty much turn the knob, and then when you're done, you lock them, and that's it. They are a little pricey, but they're real high quality pieces. So that'll probably be definitely something we'll do to it. And right now I haven't done anything to the truck. It's as I got it from the dealer, with the exception of the dealer added the tint, which I ended up not even paying for anyway, because they discounted all that stuff, as well as there was like $15,000 in rebates on the truck. And that's, what obviously the window stickers on these things are expensive. This is a $60,000 truck. And so without the rebates, it's an expensive unit. And if you shop it for a mid-sized truck and you don't need the full capabilities of a Jeep with a solid front axle, it's a lot of money to shell out on a mid-sized truck, when you can get a full-size truck in a lower trim level for cheaper than that, probably. So I'll give you a little walk around of it. This particular model came with a few extras. So you have your base Mojave package, and then this one has the upgraded wheels. So the base Mojave will come with like just a plain flat black aluminum wheel. This wheel is an upgrade. It's like $1,200 on the window sticker for this wheel package. I like the way it looks better, and not in a big rush to change out these wheels. Over the last Mojave I had, with just the flat black plain ones, they weren't nearly as nice. These I can live with for quite a while. And the tires too, the Falcon Wild Peak tires. These are the all-terrains. You can get them with the upgraded mud terrains. The all-terrains I prefer, just for highway comfort and road noise. They handle awesome. They're about as good as a BFG all-terrain KO2 in terms of off-road ability, and they're 3 peak snow rated for you guys that are winter driving. So great tires that come with. And then we'll get a look at the Fox suspension in the front. There's your Fox shocks. Now, there's your main shock body. They are 2.5 shocks. They're not 2-inch shocks. They're 2.5-inch shocks. And then the remote wet reservoirs are mounted in the front, which is why the Mojave has that unique skid plate there. So if you do change the front bumper, you've got to be conscious of that. Make sure that the bumper fits with the skid plate, which you're going to need, unless you get a replacement bumper that has a skid plate protection for it. But you want some type of protection for those reservoirs up front that are mounted, or you're going to have to mount them in a different location. But there's plenty of options available. Not concerned with that. And then the hydraulic jounce bumpers there. You can see those. It's one of the only trucks on the market with hydraulic bump stops in the front. And there was been plenty of guys that have just really pounded these things through whoops at high speed, and it just eats it up and soaks them up with those hydraulic bump stops. If you do bottom out, it's not hitting hard. It soaks it up pretty well. So it's a really awesome driving vehicle. There's a lot of rough roads around here where I live, potholes and just patched up roads, and this truck, and like I said, I had one before. It handles those conditions better than any other vehicle I've owned. And if you follow my channel, I've owned quite a few vehicles. So, and it just soaks that stuff up. It eats up bumps. It handles terrific. These tires are awesome on the street. It gets very good gas mileage. I'm averaging 17.6 right now since I got it, and I got almost 500 miles on it already. And that includes, like, the drive home from the dealer was about 70 miles, and just on the way home from the dealer I got about 19.8 miles per gallon, and that was going 75 on the freeway. And then yesterday I had to drive up from Tucson area where I live to Mesa, which is in the Phoenix metro area, and I had my quad in the bed. I had a Raptor 700 in the bed of the truck. So that's, 400 some odd pounds in the bed with the tailgate down. And driving up to Mesa and back, I averaged 17.6 miles per gallon. And so it's been terrific. The truck's awesome. I can't complain about the gas mileage with that. The Tundra I had previous to this didn't get any better gas mileage with the Raptor in the bed. So in terms of fuel mileage, it's very good. I can't complain about that. And daily use of the truck gets good gas mileage. So not that you buy in a truck for gas mileage, but just bringing those things up for those of you who are thinking about one and not sure if you're going to spend a ton on fuel. So I don't find that to be the case with the last one I had, and so far with this one, it's been great as well. You'll see here, trail doesn't have the trail rated badge, it says desert rated for the Mojave. And the Mojaves have all the orange accents, so you're going to see that. It's kind of a theme. Orange and Mojave, orange desert rated, orange around the Jeep. And then if you get around back on the tailgate where it says Jeep, also it's got the orange accents. The bumper tow hooks are also in orange. So the orange is the Mojave thing, and then the Rubicons get all like the red accents. So you see all the red accents on the truck, and if you're just passing it quick and you're not sure what you saw, if you see the red, that's a Rubicon. And the orange, that's a telltale sign, it's the Mojave. The other telltale sign you see Mojave is, if you don't see the suspension sticking out, is the hood. So the hood on this, it's got the Ram Air style looking hood. That's the same hood they put on the 392 Wranglers. Those are the only two Jeeps that come with that hood. The Rubicon is a different hood with the single air vents on each side, and it's a little flatter. It doesn't have that hood bulge. So that's also a telltale sign of the Mojave, besides the saying Mojave on the hood. You'll see more of the orange in the front with the tow hooks. Now this truck has halogen headlights, doesn't have the upgraded LED headlight package, which is not a big deal. That's gonna be one of the first models we do. I'll get into that in a bit, what we're gonna do to it. So let me show you what options it came with above standard. Everything pretty much you see out on the outside is standard, with the exception of the hardtop. A standard truck, a standard Jeep, Rubicon, Gladiator, Mojave, whatever, is going to come standard soft top. Hardtop is an option. Then there's also an option you can have dual top. It's a dual top package, and you get the hard top with the soft top, and then the soft top will just be in a crate in the bed. So if you wanted to put that on in the summer and swap out for the winter, but I prefer the hard top anyway. And then the running boards there, not running boards, but the rock rails, the body protection, that comes standard on the Mojave as well. So the wheels are upgrade package. The hardtop's an upgrade package. Also, upgrade package on this particular truck is the bed liner. It's got the Mopar spray and bed liner in it. And that's pretty much it as far as upgrades on the outside. All the lights are halogen. There's no LEDs, no LED tail lights, no LED fog lights or headlights. But we're going to change all that. We'll get into that in a bit. On the interior, there are some upgrades as well. It's got cloth interior, same as my last one. The cloth material they use in these Jeeps is very durable. It doesn't seem to tear or pull. It's not susceptible to pulls. It's a nice material for durability wise. And with it being a Jeep, they know the top's going to be off. It's going to be off-roaded. People are going to get it dirty. So they do make it pretty durable. It's got the factory headliner. If you just get a hard top, it's going to be all white up there. There's going to be no headliner on it. The headliner helps with two things: sound resonance inside the cab, and then heat in the summertime, with the heat hitting the top, not transmitting as much through the roof. So it's got insulative properties as well. So you'll see it covers the side. The whole top is one piece in the back, and then the front Freedom tops, they come off obviously as well, and they have their own headliner inserts inside there. You get the Molly panels on the back of the seats and stuff like that. That's all normal Jeep stuff. You get your outlet here, and then you have 4 USB ports, 2 C's and 2 standard USBs. So plenty of charging ports for the kiddos in the back, so they're not fighting with each other, and they get their electronics running. Keep them quiet on a road trip. That's always good for mom and dad. And then you got some back seat storage too. This Jeep also came, another thing came with was the Jeep recovery gear something packet bag. I don't know what they call it exactly. It's something, I think it's just the recovery, Jeep recovery bag or recovery package or something. Basically includes toe strap, D-rings, and some gloves, and a worn book on how to recover your stuck vehicle. So it's $200. I don't know if it's worth $200. No, you could probably build your own gear bag for cheaper, but came with the truck. It was on the window sticker, and at the dealer, the one I picked out. So that's that. Under the seat, you have storage too. You'll see all the duckies. If you don't know, it's a Jeep, kind of a Jeep thing. If you see somebody with a nice Jeep, you can leave a rubber duck on their Jeep. That's supposed to tell them that you appreciate their Jeep and you think it's nice. So the dealer threw in, gave me a bunch of them to leave on others' Jeeps. So that's pretty cool. It's the little toolkit. I just stuck it there, but it's the little toolkit to take the tops off and the windshield down. It's just got the Torx ratchet in there and all that stuff. And then when you take all those bolts off and you take your top off, all that stuff, all the hardware would go right in here. Keep it nice and organized so you don't lose anything. And I like the 60-40 split because you can open up one side, get something under the seat. If one of your kids are sitting there, you don't have to get up. They don't have to get up. You can just pick up one side. So you got the under seat storage, you got behind seat storage. The behind the seat storage is a little bit limited on that side because you have the Alpine subwoofer, which is right in the middle. So you have a little bit, like you have on this side, you have it on that side as well, just not as big. So you have a little bit behind the seat storage. And the behind the seat storage is lockable. So you stick your key in there from the key fob and key in there. The key fob, it's passive entry. So you can just leave it in your pocket, grab the handle, it'll unlock, and then there's a little button to lock it when you get out. But if you flip the little key open, you can stick that in there and lock your back seats. So the reason for that too is if, besides, hiding valuables, if you're doing some shopping and running from store to store, also the reason would be if you had your tops off, everything's open. You can put something back there, lock it up, and nobody can just, reach in and grab it. So that's the reason for that, which is pretty cool. It's nice that they thought of that stuff. I like the fact that you have vents in the back seat for the rear passengers. Some other mid-sized trucks do not have vents in the back seats. I guess they assume the cab's so small you don't need them. But it is nice. If you get in the vehicle in the middle of summer and it's very, very hot and you want to get that cold air, from the AC blowing on you before the cab, as the cab's cooling off. It's nice for the rear passengers to have that. And too in the wintertime, just to get the heat cranking on you if you need it. So the grab handles also came with the Jeep. That was another package. It was like, I don't know, $80 on the window sticker. The Mopar accessory grab handles. I only installed the rears right now. I just kind of threw them in quick. They came in a bag in the back seat along with the recovery bag that you saw there and the storage bag for the freedom panels. That all comes pretty much under the back seat. It was under there, and so I installed the rear too. It takes 2 seconds. They just kind of slide over, you can see, and then there's some Torx screws on the back side that you pull out, T25s, and then they just go back in and they hold the handles in there nice. So it's a little extra for your rear passengers if you're off-roading to hang on to or get in and out even. I have the two for the front. I just haven't put them in yet. For the front ones, it's a little easier to just pop the freedom panels up to get to those Torx screws because they're kind of like right at the roof line. But the stereo system, this thing is awesome. Interior lighting is LED, you see. It's just the exterior stuff is not. So taking the front. And a change I did notice from 22 I had to the 23 here, and even the 24 JLs I seen. There used to be 2 dials here, and now there's just one. And basically what it is, the one just works what the 2 used to. Instead of having them separate, it's all in one. So there used to be a dial here just to tone down the interior lighting, like for your cup holders, have little lights in there. At night you'll see them. It'll light up the cup holders, and then little lights that shine down on the floor. And there used to be a separate dial on the 2022s and 21s to dim that separately from everything else. Now it's just, this is for your gauge cluster and the dashboard lighting, and if you dim that with this dial, it'll also dim those lighting as well. So it's all in one dial instead of 2, which is all you really need. It's all necessary. So No electric seats, no power seats. It's just mechanical, which is fine. Again, less to break in my opinion. Future, you pull this strap to adjust the back seat, and then up and down on the seat, lumbar support here. It's got auto lights. Auto headlight turns on and off at night, so you can sleep them on auto, and they're good to go. Power windows. It's got heated mirrors. Power mirrors, I should say. It's got heated mirrors as well. You can see the little icon on the mirrors there. So it's got heated mirrors. And the orange accenting, again, themed through the interior. Seats, orange stitching, says Mojave in them. If you get the leather ones, they're really nice. The leather seats. And then because with the leather seats in the back, that center section there, there'll be an armrest that'll fold out of the back of the seat for additional cup holders. So you'll get that only with the leather wrap seats. With the cloth seats, you don't get that. You just get the cup holders there, the two on the floor. So one each for rear passenger. And push button start. Again, keys in my pocket. And we'll fire it up. Comes to life. You'll see you can change the themes of the interior and then the style of the buttons and how it displays, the color and all that stuff. In the menu, there's endless options on how you want to set this up. You can make it different colors, different styles. You'll have different backgrounds, stuff like that. This is just the ones I landed on. I liked the way the main screen looked. It'll change the background on here too. And this one I chose. You don't really see too much in the background, but there are others where it'll show like an old Willys Jeep and stuff like that in the back, and pretty cool. So you just have, there's your four-wheel drive indicator, 2 high, 4 high, neutral, 4 low. You can program this stuff here however you want it. You can have it to show any type of information you want on the top. There's different options when you go into the menu here, using this button. You got your off-road pages with your inclinometer and pitch and roll, drivetrain, and then average fuel mileage. That's since I got it. 17.7, and that includes the trip yesterday with the quad in the bed, and then trip info. That was yesterday's trip, 279 miles with the quad in the bed, to and from Mesa at about 75 to 80 miles an hour probably, 17.6 miles to the gallon. I can't complain about that. And if you go into page 9, the screen setup, and you hit OK, that'll bring up all your options. So you can go upper left. And if you hit upper left, that'll basically change whatever you want up there. You can have it show you time, range to empty, average economy, current economy. So like what you're getting at the moment, fuel economy wise, while you're driving, and that'll constantly, change obviously. You trip, or you can have nothing, or you can have a compass. I have the range to empty, and then you can go to. So we'll go back to that. Then you can change your center one. Your gear display is basically full gear display or single gear display. So what that means is, I'll show you this. If I put it in gear, you'll see next to D is a 1. That's because it's in first gear. So as you drive and it shifts, it'll change. It'll show you what gear you're in. And that's just that setting. If you turn that off and have it single, it'll just show D. You won't know what gear you're in. I like to see what gear I'm in, so when I'm towing and hauling, I can see what the transmission is doing too. And then another thing, speaking of transmission and towing and hauling, with this truck, which is really cool, for a Jeep, I think it's awesome. Right on here, you can go to your, I think it's here, vehicle info, your coolant temps, transmission temp, so you can show your tranny temp. Also, it'll show it on the gauge cluster if you go to your off-road pages. This is the only app in the system that takes a little bit longer to load, just because it's kind of gathering a lot of vehicle information. It'll show you your altitude, currently we're at 2,719 feet here where we are. Your four-wheel drive, all that stuff. Accessory gauges, you leave it on that. If you want to leave it on that while you're off-roading or towing, some people like to do that, and you can keep an eye on all that stuff. And that's pretty cool too. And then you have your pitch and roll. It has built-in navigation, so you can use that. It is very cool, the built-in nav. You can also has Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, so you can use your Android Auto maps or your Apple CarPlay map as well for Google Maps or whatever you use, your preference. And then you can customize this down here too. You can have it so if I go into apps, I can hit, you'll see I have the backup camera there. So like when I'm towing or something, I want to just click on the backup camera. It'll just bring it up for me. I could check on my hitch, check on my trailer quickly. You can have any of these here apps and options down there by literally just, if I want to have climate control settings there, which I don't because I use these. But if I want the climate control settings, I could press and hold that, and you'll see, and I could just drag it over whichever one I want to replace, and it'll replace it. But we're not going to do that. But that's just how you would do it. Super easy. You can only do that while the vehicle's stopped in a park. Won't let you do it while you're driving. So really customizable, which is another thing I like. The sound system itself, the Alpine stereo system in the Jeep, probably for a couple of reasons. One, it's small cabin, so it's compact in here. Two, I have the headliner, so for sound, reflecting and bouncing around, it helps. And the quality of the speakers that they use for a factory stereo system, I'm not saying, I know you guys that have upgraded your stereos with aftermarket components, JL Audio stuff and all that, whatever your preference and brand is, it's going to have a better stereo system. I understand that. But from the factory, I've had many trucks with the upgraded factory stereo systems. I've had GM products with the Bose stereo systems, and they are very good, but lack a little bit of bass. The JBL stereo systems I've had in a few Toyotas. The older generation ones had left a lot to be desired. The new ones, in the last Tundra, I had the new body style Tundra, 3rd gen Tundras. The JBL, I think, in my opinion, is very good, except for the sub. People have complained about the sub blowing on those. After not that long, so I didn't have that problem in the two I had. Sound quality was good, but and then I've had Alpine stereo systems, and you can get even an upgraded system beyond the Alpine. I forget what the brand is, B&O. I don't know remember what that stands for. I think I'm saying it correctly. I'll put it on the screen here. But they have another upgraded stereo system. If you buy a Ram, you get the Alpine, and then you can get even another one. And the Jeep, the Alpine is the top stereo system, and the sound quality is terrific. The bass is awesome. Very clear, very crisp. The highs and the mid-range are super crisp. I don't need anything more. I'm completely happy with it. It sounds terrific. Awesome. So moving down, another option package. And the Alpine stereo system, by the way, so in the Mojave and the Rubicon is standard. It's part of the Mojave and Rubicon package, so you don't have to add an upgraded stereo package to. You can get a Rubicon with stripped down Rubicon or stripped down Mojave, and you will get that. That's just part of those packages. Part of those trucks. So moving down, that's kind of like off-road cruise control. Kind of like the Toyotas have for the multi-terrain select and stuff like that. And then the crawl control, I should say. Crawl control in Toyotas, and this is kind of about the same thing. It'll use the ABS and kind of get you out of sticky situations and, transfer the power from one wheel to the other on its own. If you're in 4x4. And you put that on, and then you can set the speed from like 1 to 5 miles an hour. If you're on a really rough trail and you don't want your foot to be bouncing off the pedal, you can just put that on, set it to say 3 miles an hour, 4 miles an hour, and it'll just crawl it on its own. You don't got to touch the brake or the gas. And then as soon as you do, it'll just disengage that. So that's a nice feature. Then you have the rear locker, and then you have off-road plus mode. Off-road plus mode, if I remember correctly on the last one, basically just enhances the off-road ability and how the transmission shifts and when it shifts while in 4x4 and off-roading situations. So it works well. I did use it. If you put the rear locker on and then you need to turn it off, you just hit that button, shuts it off. Again, it's rear locker only. Doesn't in the Rubicon, you would push this up and you'd have rear and front locker. In the Mojave, you just get the rear locker, which 99% of situations is really all you need. And then the front will auto lock if it needs. It's just not going to be a true locker like you can get and manually lock it in a Rubicon. Here you have your 12 volt. Now, if you were to get the Mopar accessory trailer brake controller, which I have an install video on the channel from my last one, we'll probably put it in here too. this is where it would go. You would take this 12-volt outlet comes out. You take the dashboard apart in the front here. This 12-volt outlet comes out, and that's where the trailer brake controller sits. So it looks, factory, because it is a factory option. The auxiliary switches is an option I got on package on the truck. That is awesome because basically those switches, you can get a set of, let's say you want to get a set of windshield pod lights, LED lights, ditch lights, or you want to get a set of lights to mount on your aftermarket front bumper, or lights along the roof. You can get, wire 4 different accessories to the truck. It's all wired, relayed, everything. You literally have to run no wires. You just wire it to the control box, which is under the hood. You just wire it to there, and then in the stereo system here, when you go into vehicle settings, I forget which one it is. I was playing with it the other day, checking it out. Auxiliary switches. So you have auxiliary switch 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you can program it how you want it. So you can have it come on only when the ignition's on. You can have it run just right off battery. Super cool. So you can program each switch how you want it, which is very neat, very cool, I think. So that kind of eliminates a lot of wiring you would need to do to run accessories if you already have that installed from Jeep. Very cool. So that's the other option the vehicle has. That's pretty much it. So you have that, the headliner, the hardtop, the wheels, bed liner, that accessory bag, and the handles. Those are the options I have above a standard Mojave. Everything else you see on the truck is a standard Mojave. So super happy with it. Love the truck. Again, I had one before. I think it's a sharp looking vehicle. The ride quality, as I was kind of getting into before. Also, while I'm looking at it, remember, it has auto dimming mirrors. So the rear view mirror and the driver mirror is auto dimming. So that's a nice little feature too. And, drivability, man. I mean, the Mojave, if you're looking for a Jeep Gladiator and you want something that's going to handle and drive extremely well on the road, this is the one to get. If you're looking to do extreme rock crawling, and that's what you're going to do, and you're going to spend most of your time crawling it, and you're going to lift it, big lift and big tires, and you're going to do crazy rock crawling, you want that real low transfer case, then get the Rubicon. But if you're just going to do some good off-roading, not get too crazy, you can get crazy with this too. I mean, you can build it up as big as you want. But if you want something that's going to drive really well as your daily driver, and also be able to take you off-road and on fun adventures, and haul your stuff and tow your quads and your jet skis, whatever you got, the Mojave's terrific. The 3.6 Pentastar with the 8-speed transmission is a fantastic package. I really enjoyed it in the last one. I had 6,500 miles on the last one when I got rid of it, and I had no complaints. Fuel mileage was great. Transmission shifts flawlessly, super smooth. Runs good. It's got the auto stop start like a lot of new vehicles do, but it's got the button on the dash. I'm sure you guys noticed that in there when we were looking at it. You can just turn that off, and I do. I turn it off. I think it's stupid. So we keep that off. The truck, beyond this, what we're going to do as far as upgrades go is, I've done one so far. Nothing really crazy to speak of. I just got rid of the truck. Still comes on the 23s with this big, long, gigantic, probably up to a little bit beyond the roof line, metal antenna, like old school. I don't listen to almost no FM radio. I listen to exclusively either stream music or I listen to satellite radio. So I just got the stubby to kind of get rid of that big, long, goofy metal antenna, janky, dangling around. If you listen to FM radio and AM radio a lot, then keep the big one because you can get better reception. But it's going to get caught in stuff off-road. Branches are going to hit it, and it's just going to potentially cause more damage. This is kind of small, tucked out of the way. You can take it off if you want to go in a car wash real quick. Just unscrew it if you run it through the car wash. So that's nice. Beyond that, what we're going to do initially is just a couple small things. We're going to do, one of the first things we're going to do is, you've probably seen, this didn't come with the all-weather floor mats. It has the carpet floor mats. So we're going to get the a set of all-weather floor mats. I'm not sure if I'm going to do the Jeep Mopar ones. I found some other ones on Amazon that have some nice like tire tread designs, and they fit really well and have great reviews, and they're like $50 to $60 cheaper for the set. So I might get those and put those in here. That would be really cool. We'll see. I'll listen to read some more reviews, and the Mopar ones are nice too. I had them in my last one. They don't have as much grip on them though. Get your feet do tend to slide a little bit on those ones, I noticed. So also then the door sill guards, and the reason for those, I put them on my last one. I don't like the Jeep Mopar door sill guards because they only protect in here. And the white part, the painted part that comes up here, that's the part that you end up kind of dragging your feet on or get scratched up. The factory ones don't come up and over and cover those. I had a set, I don't remember what brand they were, on my last Jeep, and they come up and over. There's plenty of other brands that do come up and over. Usually they come to about here and here, and then they'll come up and over. And the same thing for the back. So that kind of protects, you're getting in and out, you're not scuffing up the paint and scratching. Especially when you get dirt on your shoes if you're off-road and you're walking around the sand and the dirt, and you get on your shoes and you rub your feet and you're going to scrape the paint. That just protects all that stuff, So that's definitely something we're going to do. The floor mats, those will be the first things. I already got a phone mount. It's a Bullet Point Designs phone mount that goes there. I just had to order the base for it. That's coming in on Monday. Today's Saturday. So I'll do a video installing that quick just so you can see. It's super simple install, and it's really quality product. A nice little phone mount, because not a lot of center console storage on the Jeeps, unfortunately. That is a downside of it. But you put the phone mount here. You can get it whatever length arm you want, and whatever different colors they offer too. Bullet Point Designs, again, great American company, American made products, good stuff. And just mounts there. The base comes off, and then your phone sits in there. Nice spring-loaded clasp to hold it very securely. I had it in my last one. Worked out awesome. We'll install that later this week. I'll show you guys. 2-3 minute video, just popping that thing in, and so that'll be pretty much it. That's kind of interior stuff. We're gonna get it's got window tints in the front. I don't know if they just use cheap tint, from the dealer, just to do these front windows. But I'm gonna have local shop just kind of get this tint off, and I'm gonna put a high quality ceramic tint on all the windows and the windshield. And we may do, because Jeeps are susceptible to rock chips, the Expel clear, kind of like what they do, the clear bra on the paint. You can get that on for your windshield, and it'll help with rock chips. So if small rocks and pebbles hit it, you're not going to get as many chips, because it's going to absorb all that stuff. It's kind of a rubbery clear bra almost for your windshield. So so we may do that, may look into that. I'm going to look into some reviews for that. I don't want anything that's going to like create a glare or anything like that. So usually what I do is the 70% ceramic tints on the inside of the windshield, and so we'll do that too, just to kind of help with in the summertime here once it starts getting hot, 110 degrees. It's she cooks, so we want to keep you as cool as possible in the cab. So the ceramic tint helps for that. And then what we'll do, I think a big upgrade after that, beyond that, the upgrades would be probably we're going to do the Apex design. Well, I'd say probably, but definitely we're going to do it at some point. I'm just not sure in what order, but we'll do the Apex design sway bar disconnects, like I was telling you. And then we're going to do the bed rails just for some better tie down points. The tie down points here, they give you 4 in the Jeep Gladiator, but they're low down. So if you want them up high, like I put my Raptor in the bed, and it's a little hard to get to, like the tires fit perfectly snug in between the wheel wells, so it's a little hard to get to those front ones. So I clasp the ratchet strap on at first, and then lay the strap on top of the wheel well, pull the Raptor in, so I can still get to it. If I had the rail system, the sliding bed rail system with the cleats on it, that would give me more options to tie it down. So we'll probably do that, and then a nice soft tonneau cover. And then what I did in the last Gladiator was I put the Air Ride 1000 red airbags inside the rear springs, and those were awesome because if you're towing a trailer, you can just put some air in them, and it'll keep the back from squatting so much, and it also creates a lot more stability in the rear end for towing. And then when you're not towing, you just deflate them. You let the air out of the bags, keep like 2-3 pounds in them. It doesn't affect the ride quality at all. They're just kind of hanging out in there in between the springs. They're just airbags. And then when you need them, you pump them up. and they were only $100, and it's not really a hard install. I have an install video on the channel if you guys are interested in something like that on yours. I'll leave links for that stuff here at the end of this video for you if you want, and you guys can kind of take a look at the older videos on the last Mojave I had with those installs. So that may be an upgrade we do. We'll see. I want to hook the trailer up with all the quads on them and see how bad she sags with it, and then we'll determine if we need to do that or not. But other than that, man, it's got a nice stance. It's still got a little bit of rake from the factory, which I like, because again, you haul something like I had the quad in the bed yesterday and it was kind of sitting level. The Rubicon has more of a rake because the front is an inch lower than this, so you got, you know, a lot more nosedive stance on the Rubicons, and the Mojave's got a 1 inch higher lift in the front, so a little bit better approach angle you're gonna get on the Mojave with that, you know, from the factory too. And I had the last one in Moab. We did some trails. Nothing too crazy, but man, it handled it great. And I didn't even have the sway bar disconnects on the last one. It was awesome. So, and then one more upgrade we are definitely going to do is going to upgrade the lighting. So we're going to get LED headlight replacements with daytime running lights or something, and LED fog light replacements, LED tail lights. We're going to upgrade all that stuff too. But these actually do throw a lot of light. They're just, you know, they're standard halogen yellow bulbs. So in the modern day, after being in vehicles with all LED lighting, it is nice. The LED lights are really nice. Besides them looking good, it does throw a lot more light on the road and light up the road. Much better for, you know, safety purposes, obviously. Truck is awesome. Ride's great. We're going to do some upgrades, so stay tuned to the channel. I am not planning on getting rid of this truck at all. Don't follow the channel. You just click on here for the Jeep video. We do a lot of quad content as well, ATVs. We got a garage full of quads, so we have all kinds of stuff we do. So there'll be a ton more Jeep content coming. So smash the subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up button if you like the video. If you got any questions at all, anything you'd like to know about the Mojave specifically, or anything else I can answer for you, leave a comment below. Do you have a Mojave? How's it held up for you? Do you enjoy it? Do you like it? You regret purchasing it? Leave a comment below. Start a discussion. And again, this is Joe with Odyssey Off-Road. We'll see you guys on the next one. Ride safe.